but the team, a lot of it hinges on Trevor Williams. Opening day is finally here. Now it's time to examine the pitching matchups for this weekend series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and St. Louis Cardinals. After a long wait, opening day 2020 is finally here. This weekend, the Pittsburgh Pirates will kick off their 2020 season with a 3-game series at Busch Stadium against their divisional rival, St. Louis Cardinals. The first game of the series was played last night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. The opening day pitching matchup was between Joe Musgrove and one of the best young starters in the National League, St. Louis righty Jack Flaherty. Expectations are high for Musgrove in 2020. While his ERA was just 4.44 in 2019, he did set a new career high in starts with 31 and innings pitched 170 and a third. His strikeout rate and F4 were career bests as well. This offseason, we talked about why 2020 could be the year Musgrove finally puts it all together as a starting pitcher. As he leans on his slider more, look for a big year from Musgrove, and that big year started last night. Flaherty is coming off a breakout season. In 2019, the young righty posted a 2.75 ERA, 3.46 FIP, 29.9% strikeout rate, and a 4.7 F4 in 196 and a third innings of work across 33 starts. Flaherty has quickly become one of the best young starting pitchers in the NL, and the Pittsburgh Pirates certainly did have their hands full last night. Shifting to today's 2:15 p.m. Eastern matchup, Trevor Williams will toe the rubber for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Meanwhile, longtime Pirates nemesis Adam Wainwright will take the hill for St. Louis. Williams will be looking to bounce back after struggling in the final 3 months of 2019, and there's reason to believe he will. During the shutdown, he still worked with new pitching coach Oscar Marine, putting a new emphasis on his curveball. Additionally, in his exhibition start against the Indians, Williams looked like his old self. He was spotting his off-speed pitches throughout the start, and batters were late on his fastball. Hitters being late on his fastball is the bread and butter for Williams when he pitches well. Wainwright, who has seemingly been pitching in the majors for the Cardinals since about 1995, is now entering his age 38 season. 2020 will be the 14th MLB season for Wainwright, who posted a 4.19 ERA and 4.36 FIP across 171 and two-thirds innings and 31 starts last season. While he is nowhere near to the pitcher he once was, Wainwright can still be tough to hit. To wrap up the series Sunday afternoon will be a pitching matchup that fans of the NL Central will see a lot of in the coming years. This matchup will be between young righties Mitch Keller and Dakota Hudson. 2019 was a season of awful luck for Keller. In his 11 MLB starts, he was stung by a .475 batting average on balls in play. This was the highest BABIP in a season in MLB history for a pitcher with at least 40 innings of work. Due to his BABIP, Keller posted a 7.13 ERA despite having a strong 3.19 FIP, 7% walk rate, 28.6% strikeout rate, and finishing with a 1.3 F4. Improved Pirate defense, as well as Marine having Keller use his off-speed pitchers more and throwing his fastball up in the zone, should lead to a huge improvement in ERA. Keller may be the most obvious choice for a breakout candidate for the Pittsburgh Pirates in 2020. That breakout season begins tomorrow, Sunday afternoon. After pitching out of the Cardinal bullpen in 2018, Hudson made his debut as a starter in 2019 and impressed. In 33 games, 32 of which were starts, Hudson posted a 3.35 ERA and a 4.93 FIP and 174 and two-thirds innings of work. He did struggle with control, though, walking 11.4% of batters faced. Now, the fact that the Pirates lost last night does not mean much of anything for the rest of the series, with Williams Wainwright today and Keller Hudson tomorrow afternoon. In fact, the very fact that the Pirates showed that much grit and determination, scratching those 2 runs off Flaherty, and then fighting back even though they were down 3 in the 9th to score 2 runs, gives me hope for these next 2 games and for the rest of the season. And I was very happy to see the grit and determination that this Pirates team showed last night. But, so when it comes to Keller Hudson, because I want to break down that just a little bit for Sunday, and this matchup is going to be something that you should be getting used to seeing over the coming years, as both are going to be staples in the Pirates and Cardinals rotation for years to come. So with Mitch Keller, and people are, his stock for some reason has dropped, and there's no reason why that should be. I know he did have a 7.13 ERA last season, but he was the unluckiest pitcher, quite frankly, in MLB history when it comes to BABIP. I mean, 40 innings of work, the guys hit 475 on balls in play, which just doesn't happen. That just it proves how unlucky Keller truly was. He struck out 28.6% of the guys he faced, walking only 7%, and the predictive ERA, the FIP, shows it should be around 3.19 for 2019. Now, when it comes to the top three guys in the Pirates rotation, Musgrove, Williams, and Keller, what we saw out of Williams in his exhibition game against the Indians, he looked like his old self. And when I say his old self, I mean he was spotting his off-speed pitches and guys were late on his fastball. And his fastball isn't really, it's not one of the best fastballs in baseball by no means. But the fact is the deception that he has on it. And guys are oftentimes late on it, and he gets a lot of ground balls and the off-speed pitches to go with it. And the fact that Oscar Marin is telling him you need to have more of an emphasis on his curveball, I am interested to see how often Williams is going to go to his curveball this year and this afternoon. Because he was really hesitant. He said he was going to throw it more last year, and it was still less than 1% of the time that he threw his curveball. But Marin is telling Williams, you got to throw that curveball more. If you throw the curveball more, batters are going to be late on your fastball, and that is what you need to succeed. Now, when it comes to Adam Wainwright, he's still going to be tough to hit today. He still can be. And he's been very good against the Pirates in his career. This is his 14th MLB season. We've seen all too much of the good Adam Wainwright over the years. But he's he's hittable now. And I do believe that they're going to come out victorious today. And I'm very excited for the pitching matchup tomorrow when we see Keller and Hudson. And Hudson, he really did impress last year. His FIP, a lot higher, 4.93 than the 3.35 ERA he had. So we could be looking to see some regression out of Dakota Hudson this year. And I think the big thing tomorrow for the Pirates is just going to be patience. Be patient off of Hudson. He walked 11.4% of the batters he faces. So if they can just be patient off of him, get some base runners, get a couple big hits, I think Keller is going to pitch well enough. And obviously, I mean, it appears now that the bullpen is going to be the biggest question mark of this 2020 team. Is, what are they going to do? Keone Kela is still battling COVID-19. There's really no word on the timetable for his return. But without him as sort of being the anchor of the bullpen, Derek Shelton cannot make the mistake that he made last night in going to Richard Rodriguez. Michael Feliz, Nick Burdi need to be the two guys that are in elevated positions. And it's going to be tough because right now, Feliz and Burdi are about the only two that I can trust in the Pirates bullpen. Kyle Crick really has struggled. He struggled in the exhibition season. He struggled last year. I really don't have much faith in him. Feliz and Burdi are the only two guys. Rich Rod can no longer be used in high leverage situations. And I guess I can trust Clay Holmes right now too. So the three guys that Derek Shelton needs to be going to in these high-leverage situations are Michael Feliz, Nick Burdi, and Clay Holmes. About three pitchers they can go to and they can lean on, and there's not much depth outside of that. Richard, I can't trust. Crick is and really the other guys are sort of wait and see on them. But the three that I'm excited about are obviously Burdi, Feliz, and Holmes, and we'll see what they can do. We're going to break down the bullpen here in this segment coming up, and there's definitely some good, there's definitely some bad, there's a lot of unknown, and the bullpen, if that can return to 2018 form in some way, and this team has a chance in 2020. If not, it's going to be a long year. I want to say the Pirates bullpen is going to be good in 2020. But honestly, at this point, I just don't know. And I know I'm taking a lot of stock into the first game with Rich Rod, but I really just don't know. With questions and concerns surrounding the bullpen as opening day arrives for the Pittsburgh Pirates, what does the pen look like? What could be the good, the bad, the unknown? Let's dive in and take a look. Every Pittsburgh Pirates fan can remember the days of the Hammer Joel Hanrahan, grilled cheese time with Jason Grilly, or dancing with Melanson. Oh, and how could anyone forget when Tony Watson took the ball and did his job? Every one of those memories have one thing in common: winning baseball. Safe to say that winning team needs to have a consistent shutdown bullpen. So what does the 2020 Pittsburgh Pirates bullpen look like? What about the future of the bullpen? Let's take a look at what the current group has to offer, and a look into the future of a group that was once the exciting end to a night of Pirate baseball on the north side of town. The good. This year's bullpen is going to most likely struggle, but it would be unfair to say that there isn't potential within it. The Pittsburgh Pirates have a very exciting, young, electric right-handed arm in Nick Burdi, who may be auditioning for next season's closer role if Keone Kela leaves in free agency or is traded. And new manager Derek Shelton is going to keep the closer role in place instead of closing out games using statistics to match up arms against the opposing team's lineup. Burdi can easily touch 100 miles an hour with his fastball, and he possesses a wipeout slider that makes him absolutely dominant when he's healthy. After suffering a nerve injury last season in his throwing arm, Burdi looks to be healthy, and with new throwing mechanics, this season could be huge for him. Obviously, I cannot say on this podcast without putting the best arm in the bullpen and the good side of things for this group. That guy would be Kela, who is currently not with the team after testing positive for COVID-19. When he returned to Pittsburgh to begin workouts, although he should be with the team sooner rather than later, and his presence on the back end of things will be the most important part of this bullpen. Even after struggling last season through the first half of the season, Kela turned it around. It was nearly perfect after the All-Star break, posting a 0.50 ERA over his 18 innings of work, reminding us all that he can be among the best relievers in baseball. Michael Feliz, is on the cusp of being a quality arm for this team and the future, so I will put him in this category. Feliz has had his struggles with the team since coming over in the Garrett Cole trade, but last season he showed signs of improvement and was one of the better arms toward the end of the season. This will be a true make-or-break season for Feliz. Another guy that looked to improve on his 2019 season is right-hander Chris Stratton. Acquired by Neil Huntington last season from the Los Angeles Angels in exchange for cash considerations, Stratton has been given the opportunity to settle down in a long relief role in Pittsburgh, something he hasn't been able to do with his other teams. Instead of starting games, once in the organization, Stratton settled down and pitched effectively out of the bullpen, posting a 3.66 ERA over 46 2/3 innings. If he can continue to pitch like he did last season, he should be one of the better arms in the bullpen. Worth mentioning is the arrival of young right-handed flame-throwing prospect Blake Cederlind, which will most likely happen at some point during the 2020 season. Cederlind ranks as the 28th best prospect in the Pirates system and has a 100-mile-per-hour elite fastball. He could very well be a mainstay in the bullpen of the future. The bad. After a pretty good rookie season where he posted a 3.91 ERA over 25 1/3 innings, things have been all bad for Dovydas Neverauskas. The young right-hander has the stuff to be a very good relief pitcher, a near 100-mile-per-hour cutter, which is why it is so frustrating to watch him struggle so much. And I mean really struggle. Neverauskas has been so bad that it really surprises me he got a spot on the opening day roster. I really don't see things ending well for him this season, but I hope he proves me wrong. Surprisingly, after such a great start to his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates, Kyle Crick is making the bad side of things for me. After a strong first half of the year, the second half of last season saw Crick struggle just about every time he stepped on the mound. A drop in velocity and an increased fly ball rate has really hurt Crick, and there may even be an injury that is yet to come out. Either way, I hope Crick can turn it around. Richard Rodriguez put together a surprise